before my husband and I were married, we lived in New Mexico. We got pregnant, and New Mexico, this is before the ACA passed, but I think it's probably still the same. The insurance companies allowed a small Medicaid expansion for pregnant women, and then their children, if their children were born. But as long as the child was still alive, the child would be covered. So because I made a little bit too much money to be on full-blown Medicaid, I was working at a shoe store. So it's interesting that I was still above the federal poverty level, which is kind of a joke, it's so low. I wasn't able to qualify for full Medicaid. So I got on this program that allowed my pregnancy to be covered, essentially. And one day, I think I was about 3 months along, I started having severe cramps, and I went to the doctor. And they gave me an ultrasound, and they said that I was having a miscarriage. And what I could do is I could have what's called a DNC, which is I don't think it would be considered surgery, but it's a way to move the miscarriage along so you don't have to go home and go through basically labor. But it would cost $3,000 because my healthcare coverage only covered my child while my child still had a heartbeat. So I said, I don't have $3,000. So I went home, and it took about 4 days, and I had a miscarriage. And then a few months later, I get a call from the hospital's bill collection agency telling me that I owed like $400 to the hospital for the ultrasound, where they told me my baby was no longer viable. So anybody watching this in other countries, I want you to really, really appreciate what you have, because that doesn't happen in other developed countries. And I think back to it, and one of the hardest parts, I mean, it was all very hard, but one of the most difficult parts was talking to the insurance collector, because he even broke down in tears. He couldn't believe that he was having to call me to tell me that I had a bill because my baby had died. And that's one of the reasons why I really am passionate about this, because I don't want any woman to ever have to experience something like that.